Michael, a couple of days away from the big game, 90 minutes away from lifting a trophy. When you first came into this job back in June, did you ever think you would get to this spot so early in your head coaching career?
Um, when I first took the job, honestly, I wasn't thinking about um, the end game necessarily. I was thinking about how excited I was to get started and how excited I was to begin the process of working with a team every day with this team, with this group of players. I had spent the first few months of the year really watching closely, and I was lucky that I had the time to really look closely at every game, get to know the players from afar, and so when I walked into this building on the first day, I was just so excited about the part of now getting to, as a young coach, be on the field every day with a really talented group of players. And sure, we talked about how well they had started the season, about how we were going to continue to challenge ourselves to play from the front of the pack. At that when I came in, the group had just beaten Chattanooga at home and was in first place. And so we talked about the excitement and the challenge now of being the team that everybody else was chasing. But ultimately, then when the work starts, you don't think about the end very often. You think about just every single day trying to chip away at things and trying to take the idea that you have in your head of what the team is, what the team can be, and just keep going with it all in that direction. And so it's been, you guys have heard me say this. It's been a really fun group to work with. The players are all so into it, and they have taken to a lot of the ideas really really well. And so it's been a fun 5 months, and we're excited now to have the opportunity one more time this year to play a big game at home in a great stadium in front of our fans and see if we can finish the year where ultimately everybody wants to finish.
Next, we'll go to Anthony Merced.
Coach, it's been a year where you've had to make changes in key positions at time. Austin Cossey is the one that I think of the most, who had to step in for Aiden Stokes. Really kind of stepped up, and especially in the last two games. Can you talk a little bit about his performance and how proud are you of how he's been able to adapt in knockout situations?
Yeah, we're really excited and really excited for Austin. Really proud of him. It's not always easy being a goalkeeper at a club where you have multiple talented goalkeepers and some really young ones that are you're trying to push along. And in my first game in Carolina, after 25 minutes, when Aiden had to come off, Austin went on in that game and really really helped us. Made some big saves, was a really strong presence, and there were a few times along the way when he'd play a game and play well, and then I'd speak to him before the next game and say, look, you're not playing this weekend, but you're really important for the group, and when you've gotten your chance, you've played really well. And you know we even talked a while back about the calendar and the idea that there was a good chance that if we could make a deep run into the playoffs, that the under 17 World Cup was at the same time, and that and there was a real chance that then Aiden would have to go, and when we got to the end of the year, that he was going to need to be ready. And so credit to Austin, credit to our goalkeeper coach Miguel Gutierrez. They've done a really good job of making sure that when these games have come, that Austin's been ready, and the team hasn't skipped a beat.
Next, we'll go to Michael Batista.
Coach, thank you so much for giving us the time. You like to say this year about how you're a young coach, you're still learning, you're having a lot of fun. Going through this half of the season, starting with that game with Chattanooga, up in these 3 playoff games, can you just talk about something that you have learned this year that, everything's going to combine going into this final? And, what do you want to take forward going into, 2026, within the Rebel organization,
Yeah, look, Michael, it's a tough question. It's hard to just give you one thing and say I've learned this or I've learned that, because the beauty of coaching and the incredible part of uh, coaching at this level in an environment like this is that things things are so fast and dynamic and fluid, and every single day is there is so much going on every single day, on the field, off the field, football things to manage, things to be on top of. What are you doing in training? What video are you showing? Which guys need some individual attention, just in terms of some conversations and checking in. Managing the connection with the first team, with the under 18s and the academy. Like there's so many different things that go into it, and so from the standpoint of, again, a young coach and an opportunity now to come into a club like this, an environment like this, I I learn a million things every single day, honestly. And if the main thing is just, again, I'm repeating myself, but how much I love doing this, how much I love coaching. The part of, I was having a conversation yesterday with somebody where it's a lot of fun, because I feel like the impact that I can have on players and a team is so much greater now as a coach than it ever was as a player. And it's interesting because when the game starts and the whistle blows, I literally have no impact on what's going on directly, right? But it's the work every day. It's how you put together a week. It's how you structure training, video, individual meetings, conversations. That is the control and the impact that you can have. And so it's been a lot of fun, and I'm enjoying every second.
Next, we'll go to Daniel Florenstein.
Michael, first of all, congratulations on your first victory at Sports Illustrated Stadium. What's it like for you, former player who has played there in club football, also the national team, and now being inside your first technical area at that stadium?
For me, Daniel, it's one of the absolute best stadiums in the country. I've we were a bunch of us were talking this week. I mean, obviously, we had a great crowd against Philadelphia. It was by no means full or necessarily close to full, but the few thousand people that came into that stadium, and this stadium itself, it was, when we scored it, the noise and the atmosphere, it was incredible, and everybody, the players, everybody inside the club felt that, and so again, for me, it's especially growing up in New Jersey. I can remember going to watch MetroStars games in that first year or two at the old Giant Stadium, and now to whether it was with the national team, whether it was with any of the club teams that I played for, now coaching, like to be able to play a part in Sports Illustrated Stadium, yeah, that part it's special for sure.
We'll go to Gary Redmond. Gary, your mic's off.
Just two questions. What have you seen from Colorado 2 that will probably give you pause as you get ready to play them? And second, I like to think of coaching in any sport like a live chess match. at some point, as much as you love coaching the way you do you ever step back to see how much moves you're going to have to make to your adversary ahead of time just to achieve victory? But focus on the first question first.
Yeah, I mean, look, Colorado's a good team. They had a really good season. They won a lot of games. You know, when you just look quickly down the table, not just in the Western Conference but across the whole league, and you look at number of wins, they are up there with anybody. And so you have big respect for that. Obviously, it's a unique league because we don't play any games during the regular season against Western Conference teams. It's hard to have as much context as you normally would. But obviously, we've spent a lot of time this week watching and really looking closely. And I would say it's a team that is very. They know what they are, and they know how they want to try to. They know the type of game they want, and they know the things that they're good at. And so, there's no doubt that in certain moments they're going to win balls and look to run and look to go fast in transition. It's not a team that necessarily cares about having the ball for long amounts of time, but it's a team that is athletic and physical. It's a team that has speed, and it's a team, again, that in terms of against the ball, chasing and really trying to come after you and then win it and go. That part's very good. So we have, big respect for them. They've had a really good season. And so we've spent good time this week as a staff and with the players as well, making sure that everybody understands what kind of game we're going to get. In terms of your second question, yeah, I mean, look, you always the biggest thing you try to do as a coach is give the players a picture of what the game is going to be like. The opponent, the things that they want, the things they're good at. You try to make sure that your team has a real sense when they step on the field of the type of game that we're walking into. Are there parts to it where then you're trying to think ahead a little bit about, what if this or what if that? Yeah, in some moments. But the best part about the way we play and the best part about the football that we want is that it doesn't change based on the opponent. It doesn't change based on whether we're playing Colorado or Philadelphia or Chicago or Carolina. We want the game on our terms. We want to play our football. We want a game that is fast and has tempo. We want to have the ball. We want to push the other team back. When we don't have the ball, we want to win it back as quickly as we can. And so, look, we have always big respect for the opponent and what they'll try to do to make sure that the game. We can't do all of those things, but ultimately, we still enjoy the part of testing our football against everybody else. And so that is that's the chance you get when the whistle blows.
We have time for 2 more questions, Michael. First, go Andres in the room. They'll wrap up with Anthony Paradiso on Zoom.
Congratulations, Coach, to winning the Eastern Conference. What was the advice or any advice that you give it to the players regarding to manage their pressure to these incoming games, to the little guys, and maybe there's 1 or 2 that is the first final?
Yeah, it's a good question. I mean, the biggest message is that we all do this, whether it's the players playing or us coaching, being, anybody. You do this to have the big moments, to play in big games, to compete when the lights come on brightest. And so the opportunity to play in a final, in a great stadium with a lot of people there, that's why you play. That's the best thing that there is. And so, sure, the part of some excitement or some nerves, some butterflies, whatever it is, yeah, it's normal. But that's how it's supposed to be. If you didn't feel that, then there'd be something wrong. And so we're going to encourage just like we have every single game, encourage the players to step on the field and go for it, to be fearless, to play our football, to try to, from the first second, be the team on top of every play. And we get 90 minutes to do that. Sometimes in the playoffs you need 30 more, but we'll be ready.
We'll wrap up Anthony Paradiso on Zoom.
Hey, Coach. In your last game, 2 of your top scorers from the regular season didn't find the score sheet in Nevi and Mascara. But can you just talk about the adjustments that your team has made to say, hey, maybe we're not getting scoring from the usual spots, but we're still going to step up and be ready?
Yeah, I mean, look, it's we play the way we do so that we can score a lot of goals and create a lot of chances, and so the nature of the game is that on certain nights some guys are going to score and some guys aren't. Obviously, Nevi, Rafa have had really, really good seasons. They've scored a lot of goals. They've set up a lot of goals. In this last period, Andy Rowe has scored a lot of goals and has come through in some big moments. On Saturday, Rold was the one who, like he has on other days lately, gets the goals. Jimenez here is a guy that we have really count on and feel like can start a game or come on and score in any moment. And so, yeah, that part of a team where you feel like you get goals and goal contributions from all over the place. That's how the margins get a little bit bigger. When you play big games or when you play against good teams, the margins are tight. And if the way that you play or the group that you put on the field means that one guy can score, 2 guys can score, then it gets harder. When you have a team full of guys that are dangerous and can score goals and set up goals and add set pieces to that, then now we're talking. So that's what we try to be about.